What if Deku joined Team JPDE? Chapter 70. We leave now. The fight against the boss was not going well. They were hardly able to do any damage to the boss, and on top of that he could see and harm Amber. Deku thought about using the maximum of 1 for all he could handle, even 100% if that wasn't enough, but that would lead to a cave-in, and while he was confident he could survive it, he wasn't sure if he could protect everyone else. And now with one final push, after throwing everything they had, they finally managed to hurt the boss. Darn it. You're a tough bastard, but we got you, David said. Alright. Good job, guys. Don't let up. We're almost done handling these things, Jack called. What is this feeling? What is this? The boss asked. You should by now be more than familiar with the concept of pain, boss. So I guess you're talking about the rush of adrenaline. It's a substance secreted naturally by the human body, Weather said. Adrenaline, you say? So many new sensations. So many new feelings. How can you humans keep gods from all of this? The boss asked. Ah, that face. Did I look like that when we first met? Titania asked. Well, you weren't identical, but Penny said. It's like looking in a mirror. For you, Evelyn said. Could you focus? Bella yelled. I can multitask, don't worry, Evelyn said. I'm glad you're enjoying your new body, boss. Now, should we enhance your experience even further? Weather asked. You mean to tell me there's more to the human experience? The boss asked. And now what are you doing, scoundrel? Penny asked. Oh, nothing much. I just thought I'd let the boss experience the most unique advantage humans have over other life forms, Weather said. A blinding light then emanated from the boss. Ah! My eyes, Titania yelled. Ah! This. Oh, no, Penny said. That's aura. That's aura, Evelyn said. This amount, I've never, Bella said. I can't feel anything, Janara yelled. Isabella, Jack yelled. I know. Let's hurry, Thilla said. I can't feel aura as well as you do, but... Is it bad? David Amber asked. Yes. It's bad, David said. It's really bad, Deku said. The boss chuckled. Truly. Humans. You have kept this from the gods. For far too long, the boss said. The boss then unleashed a massive attack on David, Deku, Penny, Titania and Amber. Penny. David. Izuku, Jack called. Thilla then took out the last Pyrrhopsi and Blob. She and Jack were fighting. Titania. Amber, Janara asked. David, Deku, Penny, Titania and Amber were all on the ground and had lost a significant amount of aura. So, what was that about fake science, daughter of Polendina? What was that bleeding heart bull crap about results, benefiting your neighbor? My results are what will make my name known in history. And even if it won't be, my knowledge of my success is all that matters. Divine magic. An aura. And soon, a semblance. I, Weather Van Gertie, made a god into flesh and created the supreme being, Weather said. Will you at least shut up? I'm already in enough pain without having to listen to your bullshit about gods and divine beings. You think you're hot shit, we get it. Put a sock in it, Titania yelled. Oh my. You seem to think I'm just shooting the shit, as they say, Weather said. Guys, I know that Weather likes the sound of his own voice a bit too much, but he's not exaggerating, here Howard said. You cannot be serious. You mean to tell me that? No, the gods are just two, and Jack said. Come on, they are obviously lying. You're lying. Who would believe something like that? Evelyn asked. What reason would I have to lie? The boss asked. Bob also vouches for him. He's the real deal, Andrea said. I guess you're more familiar with two of my brothers on this planet, but can you think of any other existence who could have survived for so long as a pure soul? The boss said, stopping abruptly. Boss. What's wrong? Howard asked. She's coming. I can feel it, the boss said. I see. What would you have us do, then? Boss Weser asked. I hate to cut celebrations short, but we should go, Weser, the boss said. As you wish. I trust your grasp on your powers is strong enough, now, to discard those rebellious pawns, Weser asked. The heel, did you just call me Bella? Asked. Bella, calm down, Thiller said. You think I'll just let you leave? You think that after all you have done to us, to peek? You won't be leaving here without a fight, Deku said, standing. Ijuku, there's nothing, Jack said. Get ready to run, Deku whispered. What exactly do you plan to do, Otherworlder? Weser said. Otherworlder, the boss asked. That young boy there claims to be from another world. He was brought here because a piece of the flame ended up in his body. Though I don't know how true that is, considering the information came from the rebels. You know about anything like that? I do not. I was just eating worlds before being trapped, so any information about other worlds with humans escapes me, the boss said. Oh, I'll prove to you that it's all true, Deku said. Prove what? You could barely handle the boss with your friends. What do you think you could possibly do on your own? Howard said. I told you I have to fight the devil, and while he may not be an actual devil, he certainly has the power to be one. The boss is no different, the only reason he's a god is because he has power. So just watch me, Deku said. Sure thing, Stud, Andrea said, activating his semblance. Deku then activated all the aura pools he had access to, his body being covered in a mixture of colors. He then activated one for all. At 100%, Deku then charged towards Andrea, and whilst he was gone in a flash, Andrea was just able to move out of the way, only losing a few strands of hair. Deku crashed into the cave wall behind them. Talk about a letdown. All that talk and he miss. We're like 30 feet from them, how could he have missed? Howard asked. Guys, he wasn't aiming at me, Andrea said. What? Howard asked. I can see the future of someone's actions, but what I can't do is react to them if they are faster than me, Andrea said. Then Howard said. The four turned to see several large cracks in the wall. Clever girl, Deku said. Deku then punched the wall again. The cave then began to crumble. Are you crazy? Howard asked. Maybe, Deku said. The boss laughed. I like you, boy. I would like to fight you once you've mastered this power, and once. But I'm not a fool who'd let my enemies get strong. Howard. Why don't you show our friends the full extent of my gift? The boss said. With pleasure, boss, Howard said. Howard then began to transform, and the cave went dark. Why did everything go dark? David asked. Never mind that. Jack, I thought I told you to run, Deku said. Jack said. Just forget it. We need to go before the cave crushes us and Howie shows up again, Deku said. The ground then began to shake. What? The Deku said. Great job, Ijuku. Now we're going to fall to our deaths and then be crushed, Bella yelled. That's not it. It's the pyroobsidian. No one has ever managed to explain its properties, its existence. If pyroobsidian only exists because it was the boss's body. If he suddenly renounced his claim to it, all the untreated pyroobsidian will, Penny said. A roar then echoed through the cave. Janara, call for Team RWBY. We need that extraction. Isabella, Bella, with me, Jack yelled. Already on it, Janara said. Farewell, younglings. I only pity that you won't live to see the world I will make, the boss said. Stay close to at least another person at all times. That sound was Weser's failures going out, Thiller said. So now we got to open a path through those things, and with the cave collapsing. Fucking great, Bella said. Black whip tendrils then started to hold up the top of the cave. I'll worry about the cave-in, you guys focus on the failures, Deku said. Penny, how are you holding up? Evelyn asked. I'm sorry, but I don't have enough aura to fight. I will help Titania, Penny said. Another roar was then heard. What? What was that? Evelyn asked. Howard. Everyone, you need to go. Amber, I need you to be my eyes, David said. Of course, Amber said. David, what are you saying? Penny asked. Are you sure about this, partner? Jack asked. Why? Why do you sound like you're considering it? Evelyn asked. You little. We're not leaving Big Brother behind, Bella yelled. You're leaving me and Deku behind. And if you want to be useful, make a path for us to follow afterwards. On top of our relationship, I have something inside me that the boss wants, remember? And now that I've served my purpose, there's no reason to keep me alive any longer. Me, Deku and Amber will be your rearguard and take some heat off you. Now go, David said. Partner. Just answer me this. Do you have a plan? Jack asked. Yes. I do, David said. Let's go, Jack said. David. Izuku. Don't you dare, Evelyn said. No, 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 Big Brother. Let me go. Let me go, you. No, Bella yelled. Bella, please. We need you, Thilla said. I'll jill you. I'll fucking kill all of you, Bella yelled. Izuku. David. Please, Penny said. We don't need any heroes today, Titania said. But I'm already a hero, Deku said. You know what I mean, Titania yelled. Everyone apart from Amber, David and Deku then left. Sorry for asking you to stay, Amber, David said. I'm literally the only person of the group whose survival is guaranteed. I would have remained even if you hadn't asked me, Amber said. And I'm sorry for forcing you to stay, Deku, David said. Well, I did start this cave-in, so holding it together for you is fine. Also, as you said, it takes the heat off the others. And I couldn't call myself a hero if I left you behind, Deku said. Thanks, you too. So, Amber, where is he? David asked. The ceiling, Amber said. I need some light, please, David said. Amber then lit up the cave, revealing Howard above in a monstrous spider form. Meanwhile, outside the cave. So we're actually doing it. We're actually climbing inside that giant drill with legs, Wise said. Yes. We are. And post-haste, Peach said. Our friends need the cavalry. So we ride. Inside the giant drill with legs, Ruby said. Back down in the mines, Jack and Thilla were leading the way out of the mines and clearing a path for David and Deku. Come on. They seem to be particularly susceptible to my semblance. Let's press onwards, Jack said. Jack then continued on. Bella. You've started to, Thilla said. This is not the time to discuss it. We need to get Big Brother's friends out of here, Bella said. Without the boss's magic, you, Thilla said. Not the time. David and Izuku stayed behind so we could go forward. So let's go forward, Bella said. Further down the mines, David was still fighting Howard. He was having a hard time, running on little to no aura, and with Deku using almost all of his aura pools for his 100% attack, he couldn't refill. The one thing that was his saving grace was Deku. Deku was pitching in where he could, destroying rock that were going to fall on him and attacking Howard when he could. But now their luck was about to turn around. David, Izuku, he stopped moving, Amber said. Good. That's good, David said. Guess keeping up that form takes a lot of aura, Deku said. Amber. Keep the lights on, David said. Yes, Amber said. Always keep the lights on, David said. After giving it one final push, Howard stopped attacking. We're both out of time, aren't we? Without Bella or the boss around. You can't leave here easily, can you? The longer you wait, the more dangerous it is. This whole place is going to crumble on top of us very soon. So, these are your options. We can both keep fighting until I'm out of aura and Deku rescues me, and then you can take your chances with the mountain falling on top of you. You can try and go after my friends and take your chances with them before taking your chances with the collapse. Or third, we end this right here and we both go our separate ways. The choice is yours, David said. Howard then retreated. David, he's gone, Amber said. Good. Deku, we're done here, David said. Okay. Get going, I'll be right behind you, Deku said. Right, David said. David then ran for the tunnel they had entered through. All right, I'm out. You can let go now, Deku, David said. Deku then released Black Whip and ran towards the tunnel, but just as he was about to make it, it was covered by several rocks. Ijuku, David yelled. Go on without me. I'll find my own way out, Deku said. But David said. I don't need aura to fight, remember, you can't, so go. I'll be fine, now go, Deku said. All right, don't die, David said. I won't, Deku said. David then continued forward. Deku turned to look around for an exit. He could go up the tunnel Howard had created, but that would take him to the boss, and he knew that would not go well. A crack then began to form in the ground. Sometimes to rise up, you have to fall down, Deku said. Deku then jumped down and soon after the cave collapsed. Back up the mines. The rescue team had killed several of the failures. Of course. Of course. We come out of the giant drill with legs, and what do we find? A posse of disgusting monsters I've never heard of before. They're definitely not grim, let me tell you. Can this day get any weird? Weiss asked. Weiss, will you shut up and kill the goddamn monsters? Young yelled. What does it look like I'm doing? Weiss yelled. Venting and getting on my nerves, Young said. We Shnees excel at multitasking, Sister Weiss yelled. We're here. Hurry up. Penny, you and Titania go first, Jack yelled. Titania. What happened? Peach asked. Long story, Mom, Titania said. Jack, oh my gods, are you alright? Where are David and Ijuku? Ruby asked. There. Behind us, Jack said. Using her semblance, Ruby sped down the tunnel. Ruby, no, Weiss yelled. Not that far away. David was running up the mine. As he was running, he fell to the ground. David, Amber said. I'm fine, I stumbled, David said. You're out of breath. You've been pushing yourself too hard, Amber said. I'm fine. Just give me a, David said. Another failure then appeared before them, but it was quickly cut down. David, Ruby yelled. Ruby. What are you doing here? David asked. A last-minute rescue, of course. Hey, where's Ijuku? Ruby asked. Don't worry, he'll be fine. I swear. I don't think I've ever been happier too, David said. The ground below them then began to crumble beneath them. They both jumped back to avoid falling in. Ruby, you should go, David said. What? Ruby asked. I can't make that jump. I can barely stand, right now. It's over, David said. No, it's not, Ruby sobbed. David, listen to her. It's not over, Amber said. The ground underneath David then began to fall. David, Ruby said. It's alright, Ruby. You tried your best. It's just bad luck. Well, truth tell. I kind of screwed up, so, maybe this is my punishment. Hey, David said. Don't you say it. Don't you dare say it. I don't care if you made a mistake. You've helped me, you've helped Janara, Belle, and you don't deserve this. You don't deserve this, Amber said. David. No one deserves this, Ruby said. I know, David said. Ruby then thrusted Crescent Rose into the ground. Ruby, what are you doing? David asked. You can't make that jump. Then maybe you can make this one, Ruby said. Ruby, are you crazy? Crescent Rose won't be able to, David said. I can already feel it threatening to slip, David. But you know what? You know how I was angry at Bella. Like she had taken from my time with my mother. Then, I thought about it, and I remembered what my dad told me about my mom, Ruby said. Ruby, David said. She just couldn't leave things alone. Even if it cost her something, even if it was dangerous, she just could never leave things alone. And I'm the same. I can't leave things alone. I can't leave people alone. I can't leave my friends alone. I can't leave you alone, David. And I won't. So please, David. Grab my hand, Ruby said. David reached out to grab Ruby's hand, however the hands were just barely not able to reach each other's. They both leaned further across the gap in hopes of reaching each other, but then the whole tunnel collapsed, sending them falling further down the mines. Meanwhile, in the forest that surrounded Peak. How does your first breath of fresh air feel like? Boss Weather asked. Invigorating. Refreshing. I don't even have to think about it, and yet my lungs fill and empty continuously, the boss said. Yes, the human body is quite the incredible machine. And we're about to make it even greater, Weather said. Speaking of not so great things, though. I see Howard. Well, what do you know? He once again failed to kill the studs. Who'd have thought, Andrea said. I'm sorry, Boss Howard said. It's all right, Howard. Your life was more important than the death of those two, the boss said. Boss Howard asked. The road ahead is long and fraught with obstacles. And I will have need of you in the future. Don't be so quick about apologizing for not throwing your existence away. Believe me when I say that ending up buried deep underground is not a pleasant experience, the boss said. Moo. You're too nice, boss. Aren't you supposed to be evil? Andrea asked. Am I? We'll see, the boss said. What's next for us? Weather asked. I would discover more of the human body. And see what this world built on my suffering has to offer. Before that, though. A name, the boss said. A name, Weather said. I can't have you call me boss forever now, can I? I have never had need of a name before, but I've had time to think about it. From now on, call me Anjay, the boss said. Everyone, apart from David, Deku and Ruby, had escaped the collapsing mines and were safe at the mine entrance. There was a gloomy mood permeating the area. Nothing yet. Janara confirmed that there's still places where the ceiling didn't collapse and pockets of air. So far they haven't found any trace of them, so there's still hope, Jack said. To find their crushed bodies, Weiss asked. Jack was taken aback. Don't give me that look. It's hopeless. Ruby went out as I always knew she would, Weiss said. Weiss Young said. Trying to help, Weiss said. They began to grieve their fallen friends. However, how long do you think you can fall for? Ruby asked. End of chapter 70.